Hello there, it's me again. You are watching 1-2 Tax, and in this video and this section of the course, we're going to start look at some specific deductions that you can claim in order to minimize your taxable income and thereby decrease the amount of tax that you pay. So this video, we're specifically looking at deductions that you can claim for medical expenses. There are two categories of medical expenses that are deductible. Firstly, there are medical scheme contribution credits, and secondly, there are additional medical expense credits. Before looking at those two different ones, first, I just quickly want to explain what a fringe benefit is, which is something you might hear during this section of the course. A fringe benefit is something that forms part of your remuneration package as an employee. It's a non-cash benefit that is provided to you by your employer. Examples of these are medical aid payments or travel allowances or the use of a company's car for private purposes or free lunch from your employer. All of these are examples of fringe benefits. These are income in the strict sense of the word and fall under the definition of gross income. So usually this must be included in your taxable income, although you can often claim a deduction if the benefit was partly used for work purposes, and we will get to that. But now we're back to medical expenses. The first type of medical expense that you can claim a tax credit on is the medical scheme contribution credit, which is shortened or often referred to as the MTC, medical tax credit. It's a non-refundable rebate which you can claim if you make contributions to a medical aid for yourself and dependents, such as family members. Those are the amounts that you may claim per month for your contribution. So for yourself, you can claim 332 Rand, your first dependent that much as well, and then for each additional dependent, 224 Rand. You can only claim this or only the person who actually pays these amounts may claim these tax credits. And if it's paid by your employer and constitutes a fringe benefit, then it's deemed to be paid by you because you are still going to have to pay tax on that as part of your income. Your employer is meant to take the MTC into account when withholding your PAYE. So your employer is meant to calculate the rebates that you may claim yourself. So you actually only need to worry about this in your tax returns if you are self-employed or if your employer is not doing what they are meant to. Lastly, the rebates can only be paid against taxes payable and cannot result in a refund. Then we move on to the second type of medical expense that you may claim some tax credits for. It's called the additional medical expense tax credit. The requirements are that the expense must not be covered by your medical aid, and it must be paid to a registered medical practitioner or a pharmacist for prescribed medicine. Those on the screen is the longer form requirements, which I've just summarized broadly. And here on screen you can see a summary of the requirements. Again, it's the expense that is not covered by your medical aid, paid to a registered medical practitioner or pharmacist for prescribed medicine, and it's for services or medicine supplied to a taxpayer or the taxpayer's dependents. The amount that you can actually claim depends on a formula that's set out in the Income Tax Act. It takes into account your age, whether you are above or below 65, and also takes into account your medical schemes tax credit. It's a finicky, complicated formula, so we're not going to go through it here. And I would say it's not that important to actually know the formula, as the calculations will be done automatically on e-filing. What is important is to know what you can and cannot claim as a deduction under this section. And it's always important for this and for any other tax record purposes is to keep your invoices for 5 years, because SARS is legally entitled to ask for proof or records to substantiate what you are claiming up to 5 years in time. And that is a quick summary on the medical expenses and deductions that you can claim. And I will see you in the next video where we will look at deductions for donations to public benefit organizations. I'll see you then.